There's a flight recorder nearby. I could add it to the collection at the Grove. I can find a voice recorder here. I guess I'll come back for that flight recorder later.
Concentrating their fire on the lead Horus, but there must be 6 more coming in behind it. And there are several ashore and moving inland further up the coast. Copy that. We'll keep eyes on it. But whatever this Zero Dawn super weapon is, you'd better use it soon or there'll be nothing left.
The final secret. There was no weapon. Just hope that life could survive. My focus has detected another flight recorder. Broken building is the ruin that Quinn Scout told me about. There should be a relic inside. Okay, I'm in. I should take a look around. According to this, the door needs a key module and a 2-part code to open. Sounds like I might find those things higher up. There's a crate, but how to get to it? Need to find a closer spot. There we go. according to the data I found earlier, I should be able to find half of the code in the next building. There's a way to cross over up here. Well, I'm not getting up to the other building that way. Energy cell. It looks like it's out of power. There we go. Energy cell's charged up. Now, where do I plug this in? Oh, the cell's out of power. I gotta charge it up again. No good. Energy cell's out of power. Nope. Looks like the cell's losing power. I think I can make it to the elevator from here. The energy cell must be damaged. It won't hold a charge for long. Got it. The elevator should have power now. Can't believe this thing still works. Okay, I should be able to make the jump to the other building. Made it. I think that office I'm looking for should be around here. Interesting. This could help. That's one part of the code down. Just need to find the other. Another ornament. Gotta find a way to get to it. Should be able to pull that. I think that vent might lead to the floor above. I gotta be in range first. This data might help. code I need for the door. Now I just have to find a key module. That ladder could be useful. Just gotta find a way to lower it. Glide in. Opening in the wall behind the ladder. I can't shoot the lock on the ladder while I'm in the water. can shoot the lock on the ladder through an opening in the wall. Walk it off. Just walk it off. Shake off this wet. A key module. Good. I think I have everything I need to open the door to the relic. Okay, now for the code. There we go. Got another ornament. I should give this to Stemmer the next time I see him.
May the ancestors guide.
Smell this, and the food will sell itself.
Please, Ancestor, please. It's about my brother. I don't mean to disturb you, but I've run my requests through every channel and I've gotten nowhere.
Just take me through it.
Apologies. My name is Jomar. I'm the weapons officer for this expedition. It's my job to ensure the troops are armed and prepared for what's out there. And I've failed to do so. My younger brother, Oris, his unit was sent to scout the tower on the northern side of the island. They should have returned by now. The Overseer has denied my request for a search party, and defying him would mean dismissal. Or worse.
You think they might be alive?
Oris has been obsessed with San Francisco ever since I can remember. He jumped at the chance to join this expedition. I have to believe that fate isn't cruel enough to make this place his tomb. If you help me, I'll get you access to any weapon in my stock.
If I make my way up north, I'll look for your brother.
Thank you. If it helps, my brother carried an ancestral relic with him. I believe your focus might be able to pick it up.
What kind of relic?
A small metal piece dangling from a chain, with a hologram of San Francisco. Which is why my brother always had it with him. The diviners speculated it was some kind of beacon, inviting the ancestors to visit the city.
Speculated. So there was data on it they couldn't read.
It was deemed lost knowledge. If my brother truly is gone, could you maybe bring the relic back for me? It meant so much to Oris. I'd like to keep it safe. For him.
Of course.
I should focus on the task at hand.
Try and finish it. We've been
There's
ordering
no
these
way we
next
can
one.
find our way back home like this.
We've got extra food rations.
But now we're moving.
So, they're taking our supplies again?
That was rude.
Goods. Valuable goods. I'd like to have her on my side in a fight.
I promise you, we'll find a way home.
Harriam, we're never getting that gyro compass back. We're stuck here. For good.
The Ancestor reborn.
May we be led to truth.
Just, Aloy, what's this I hear about you never going back home?
Our navigational ships.
They're all gone. Destroyed by storms and reefs, and with them the one instrument we need to guide us across the ocean.
There is one ship that might still hold a working gyro compass.
But it's beyond our reach, beached on an island surrounded by deadly currents. No compass, no way home, no way back to those we should have never left behind in the first place.
Christia.
You mentioned you left someone behind?
My wife, Meandra. She works the field in the Great Delta. When I was chosen for this mission, she begged me not to come. She was scared I wouldn't return. I left without saying goodbye, and now I...
Maybe I can help.
Not unless you can...
I can't do that. But if I find a way, I'll come back.
She's an Ancestor reborn.
I will not let myself hope just yet, but...
I see. I was scouting northwest of here, near the village of Saltbite. There's a place there where the ground is made of metal. Don't know what it means, but it can't be good. Be wary.
Appreciate the warning. Ground
Don't
made
let
of
the
metal?
pretty landscapes fool you.
There might be a cauldron. Where there's a cauldron, there's machine overrides.
Aloy, you think we can talk?
Alana must have left this for me on her way back east. I wish she could have stayed. But I know Meridian and the Lodge need her.
There she is. Heard you had an interesting time at Thebes.
Maniacs, lava.
I'll remember that next time I go travel.
At least I got what we needed.
Good thing I got my gear ready then. Oh, before I forget. Here. Something to commemorate our mission. We did good together.
Yeah, we did. Have you spoken with Alva yet?
Yeah, when she's not reading the archives like a giddy kid drinking her first ale. She took to that new focus quick, that's for sure. I gotta say, I'm a little jealous. But I can see why you two hit it off.
You look tough.
Ha! You never want to... I've just been making sure that I got everything that would want to be the usual...
You'll do fine. You've been looking at any...
I asked Gaia to find me someone to look, and she found the mother of all. They called it sports. Turns out the old ones spent a lot of time tackling and punching each other for points in one game or another. Are you mixing some solid food and fresh ale? I bet half the claim will be lining up to watch.
What else have you been...
Yeah, I've been looking into this Vegas. Gaia showed us everything that happened. I mean, this Morland guy seems pretty smart. Though, risking the Tenakth clan lands for a light...
His crew knows how to handle themselves.
Right.
I should get going.
As soon as you want...
I'll give you the heads up.
From the look on your face,
I got Omega clearance. Is everyone ready to head out to
As soon as you give the...
Did Alva make...
Our new Quen friend. The moment she laid eyes on the archives, she...
Sounds about right. Now that I have Omega clearance, we can grab Hephaestus and finally have the advantage over the Zeniths.
Can't wait to see their faces as they stare down a bunch of charging Thunderjaws.
Better them than us, for once. This mission isn't gonna be easy. Hope you haven't been slacking off.
And risk Zoe coming after me? At least you found the Omega clearance.
Wish that was the only thing. I knew finding Thebes would lead me to Ted Faro, but I never imagined he'd end up like he did.
How bad was it?
Bad.
He destroyed the world and crawled into a hole after killing those who saved it. If you ask me, he deserved whatever he got.
That he did. I hope Zoe's not upset I'm distracting you from your training.
Yeah, I don't think you have.
What do you mean?
Well, before Zoe found a way to fix the land gods, I suggested that when Gaia was fully restored, she could just make new ones.
Well, once we get Hephaestus, that's definitely a possibility.
That's what I said. But I guess there was something about my tone she didn't like. She got pretty raw. Said I didn't understand the way her tribe feels about those machines. Which is true, of course, and the last thing I'd ever want to do is dismiss her. But I was trying to look at things different, more like you know? To see him.
Yeah, I guess I led you into trouble there, didn't I?
Not your fault.
Did you talk to...
I suffered through a few hours of glaring silence. How do people do this? How do I know if the next... What if an apology is not enough next time?
You give her a stuffed animal?
You're the worst. You know that?
What makes you think I know anything about any of this? You're on your own.
Abandoning me again, huh? Well, if she kills me next time, it's on you.
Once Gaia is back up and running, I expect you to put all your training to good use.
The seeds have been planted. All they need is a chance to bloom. What? I thought that was pretty good. Zoe liked it.
I'm glad you and Zoe found...
Don't forget.
I should go get...
Of course.
Welcome back.
Good to be back. Have you met our new Quen guest yet?
I could barely keep up as she gave herself a tour of the base. Varl gave her a new focus. Though when he told her she was free to access all the data we had here, she turned so pale I thought she'd faint on the spot. We showed her to the archive room so she could see for herself. She hasn't left the place since.
Sounds like Alba. What are you going to learn next?
I'm not sure. I asked Gaia for suggestions, and she brought up data you found on something called a museum? From what I gather, the old ones would store knowledge in them for all to see, like you've done here for us. Maybe one day more people will be able to use this.
That sounds crowded. It looked like you were working on something over there.
Just checking up on how well the land gods are doing, now that they... And to think some people thought I should have given up.
Already said I was sorry.
Your friend thought it'd be a good idea to replace the land gods with new machines when Gaia recovers.
It wasn't.
The land gods have taken care of our people for generations. They are not some broken toy to be thrown away. Even if they are just machines doing their job, to abandon them in their time of suffering seems cruel.
I'm sure Varl understands that too.
He does now. I had to get pretty mad at him at first, though.
You know I can hear you guys, right?
Anything interesting happen while I was away?
Aaron told us how you tracked down the Oseram supplying Regala with machines. In fact, he's quite adamant about relating the tale at least twice a day. But I can tell it meant a lot that you asked for his help.
I wouldn't have been able to track them down if it wasn't for him. How are things with everyone?
Slightly quieter. Aaron's been busy scouring data on his newest obsession. Apparently the old ones wrestled machines as some kind of performance. Called it metal versus meat. A must-see battle between steel. You'd think we have enough of that going around.
Read anything in...
I found out the old ones use leaf infusions like the Utaru do. Tea, they call it. Apparently it helped soothe them. That and some sort of scented wax they used to cleanse their aura. Plus something called bubble baths. Me, I think I'll stick to singing to calm the nerves.
Varl looks...
He's been obsessing over the data revealed to us. Just the other day, we read about mountains hiding deep underwater that spew fire. If I understand correctly, Gaia said the flames they release come from the very... like a heart, beating. As always, the cycle can be found in even the most unlikely... Of course, Varl's mostly interested in watching explosions happen.
I assume you've been looking into Demeter now that Gaia's merged with it?
Yes. It's been humbling to know that the seeds I carry in this pouch came in turn from the seeds saved for Demeter in the old world. It gives me hope that the cycle of life will prevail now, just as it did before.
I need to get...
Right. That means we'll be going after Hephaestus.
Aloy!
Right to work, I see.
There's just so much. I mean, we knew of artificial beings that served the ancestors, but Gaia? Oh, she's amazing! And you, a true reincarnation of an ancestor. Genetically speaking, of course, not like the, late CO. And there's more ancestors out there, returned from beyond the stars. Of course, they're trying to kill us, which is not great. And Eric Visser is with them, which is disturbing. And then there's Hephaestus, and...
Okay, how about we take it one step at a time?
You're right. I also owe you an explanation for everything that happened at Landfall.
You mentioned the reason you came here was to help your family. Your sister
Her name is Alika. Our parents are commoners, peasants, really. When I passed the divination exams, they were so proud. It brought honor to our family and increased rations. Only Alika begged me not to leave for the research academy.
Why? What happens there?
Alika knew that once you enter, you're not allowed to leave or see anyone, not even your family. Unless you can get special permission and an escort by an overseer.
It sounds harsh.
Like the focuses we keep, diviners are few in number, and the Empire is, well, fearful that outsiders will try to steal our knowledge. Last time I was allowed to see my family was just before our voyage here. Because of my position, I was able to get them refuge from the floods within the capital. But if our crops don't recover soon, they'll starve to death along with everyone else.
I promise I'll do my best to make sure it doesn't come to that. The ancestors, is that what your people call the old ones?
Yes and no. The ancestors are the greatest of the old ones. Those whose legacy taught us agriculture, medicine, warfare, leadership, and patronage of the science and arts.
The CEO called Elizabeth Sobek an assistant. What's that about?
Right. Well, any old one who has made minor contributions or worked extensively under one of the ancestors is called an assistant. That's how we thought of Sobek, until we met you. Our limited access to data past the late 2040s has obviously misinformed our view of the past.
The ancestors.
Yes and no. Those whose legacy taught us warfare, leader.
The CEO called.
Right, one of the. Our limited access to data past the late 2040s has obviously misinformed our view of the past.
You said you owed me an explanation for what happened in Thebes. I'm listening.
Right. I'll start at the beginning with the CEO. He was an Imperial, the Emperor's nephew, in fact. As such, he sponsored many diviners to search the legacy for anything that might help the tribe, and himself. He took a special interest in anything related to Ted Faro, whom we considered the greatest of the ancestors.
Ted Faro, revered ancestor. That's tough to take.
I know better now, of course. Anyway, the diviners discovered that Faro spent a great deal of time in San Francisco. In fact, many of the most important ancestors did. So the Emperor's nephew convinced him that an expedition across the ocean might solve our most pressing problems. If only we could find the right data in this fabled city. Perhaps we could roll back the floods and storms that threatened our people. The Emperor declared that all the tribe's resources be poured into this endeavor. Dozens of ships were built, scouting missions were dispatched, and the Emperor's nephew was named CEO, one who wields the legacy for the good of the Empire. The living embodiment of Ted Faro, a renewer. It may seem strange now, but for a time, he carried all of our hopes. We really believed he would save us. We had no idea just how perilous the journey would be.
You said the expedition across the sea was more dangerous than you thought it would be. What happened?
We lost most of our ships to hurricanes, and scores of soldiers perished to hunger and disease. And that was before we even hit the coast. Once we landed, machines ripped our patrols apart, and we struggled to replenish our rations. There were bright spots, to be sure. We found Thebes and the greenhouse. But nothing improved the CEO's mood as his dreams of saving the tribe were slowly dashed. He became more and more obsessed with Thebes and what lay behind its door. And more convinced that the title of CEO was no mere honorific. You heard him, spouting nonsense about Pharaoh's essence and some kind of becoming. We knew these weren't the words of a sane man, but he was quick to put any who spoke out in front of a firing squad.
What a great guy.
The Quen are wrong about many things when it comes to the Legacy. I can see that now. But what the CO became was a complete perversion of what Principal Diviners stand for. The pursuit of truth. I'm sorry you had to endure his madness. I'm just glad it's over. For everyone.
So, Bohai, your overseer. Will he run things better than CO?
He won't execute people on a whim, if that's what you mean. But he's hardly a paragon of integrity. I can't tell you how many times he took credit for data in the Legacy that I uncovered. The best thing I can say about him is that he can be trusted to always do what's best for him.
Yep, sounds... Back at the greenhouse, you spoke of knowledge forbidden to your people.
Diviners are meant to seek out the truth in the Legacy. And many Imperials sponsor them in the hopes they'll find something the Empire can put to use, thus gaining favor with the Emperor. But the Board of Overseers claims certain truths are detrimental to the stability of the Empire. Like discovering one of our revered ancestors ended the world. That is why Diviners are only allowed to access segments of the Legacy. Only Overseers can view it all. It ensures that any heretical data can be contained and retrieved before it can spread.
What happens to Diviners who break the rules?
I never had the courage to ask.
I imagine you don't know anyone here that well yet.
It's funny because one of your friends is, well, another you. Not that you are the same person. I mean, you are, as in, but even so, you're different.
Yeah, we are. I hope everyone's been treating you okay.
Oh, yeah, of course. And they share the... It's refreshing. Back home, Diviners can only share data with the permission from the Overseers.
Sounds restrictive.
Yeah, you are not wrong.
I see you've been using your new folk.
It's been fascinating. What would have taken me years to sort through, like the database you helped me recover, with this, I've been able to establish search parameters to speed up. This could revolutionize how that is, whatever part of it the Overseers would actually...
You wanted data, you'll...
A Diviner has never had this sort of unsupervised access, and knowing you, I suspect there is... But I was sent here to help you. Maybe it'll help the Quen find their way.
You mentioned Eric Visser? How do you know about him?
The Zenith who tried to kill you? He is known to the Quen as the Protector. Combing through data related to his work led us to breakthroughs related to weapons and military tactics.